He woke up and the lintel was gone. No alarm, no sign of struggle, just a blank space where a carved face had been for centuries.
That image stays with you. It's a simple moment with a big cost. Small losses that change a temple's story.
Today, we trace how everyday tourism choices can feed a shadow market and what practical steps visitors, communities, and officials are using to stop it.
Let's take this slowly, step by step, and with respect, because livelihoods matter as much as history does.
From Phnom Penh to provincial temples, demand creates incentives.
Right.
Small carved pieces go missing. A lintel chipped away from a doorway. A fragment slipped into a backpack during a busy hour. Those tiny losses add up and then...
And suddenly, the timeline conservators rely on is broken. Exactly. I want to pin this to a real scene. A temple guardian told us, "We count the stones every morning. We know what is missing." That line was simple, but it held the whole problem.
That morning count. It's how communities remember and teach. When pieces vanish, teaching becomes guesswork.
So how does an object move from a site into a market? We found the same 3 steps again and again. A small buyer in a market, an unrecorded sale, then an aggregator who moves items to a bigger city.
For example, a conservator we spoke with described a cache of carved fragments that arrived in the provincial capital without paperwork.
And the conservator estimated dozens a year. Replace that placeholder with a verified number during reporting.
Important note there. We avoid inventing stats. But on the ground, the pattern repeats. Loss, short transfer, then disappearance from local record.
I want us to be fair. Many sellers are local craft makers trying to feed a family, but the buyer's preference for authentic fragments changes what appears on a stall.
Exactly. A tour operator we spoke with hears tourists ask, "Where can I buy original carvings?" He redirects most requests toward licensed crafts, but those moments matter. They shape demand.
Quick interjection. When tourists buy without questions, they unintentionally give value to illegal trade, so buyer behavior is part of the chain.
And misinformation makes it worse. Online listings that claim antique status without provenance let illicit items blend with reproductions. Media literacy matters here.
So what practical tools actually help? We heard 3 kinds that communities use regularly: presence, pride-driven education, and economic alternatives.
Presence means rangers, volunteers, and visible community stewards. Pride-driven education is a simple visitor card explaining why objects matter. Economic alternatives are craft cooperatives and marked replicas that keep income local.
We visited a village where potters were trained to make replicas stamped with a label and a short story card about the original. Tourists buy more of those labeled pieces. Authenticity without theft.
There's also promising tech. An open-source mapping tool helps communities log monuments. Geotagged photo records create public inventories. Simple messaging groups let neighbors report suspicious activity quickly. These increase transparency without exposing security details.
But let's acknowledge a debate. Stronger penalties versus community-based solutions. You raised this earlier. Where do we land?
I'm skeptical that punishment alone fixes the root cause. Heavy-handed enforcement without alternatives can push trade further underground and harm people who rely on informal income.
But what about victims who need justice now? That's the other side.
Fair question. The answer is a mix. Enforce where clear criminal networks exist, but combine that with incentives, legal craft markets, tourism revenue sharing, and safe reporting channels. That balances justice and social stability.
We also checked misinformation directly. A viral post claimed a village sold an entire temple. We verified with local authorities and conservators. False. Always check multiple official sources before sharing.
Here's a practical tip for travelers.
If someone offers a carved piece with no paperwork, ask where it came from, if it's registered, and whether the seller has a local craft license. If answers are vague, walk away.
From afar, you can support vetted preservation groups, amplify responsible tourism projects, or donate to community craft cooperatives. Small, steady support often helps more than a dramatic one-off.
I want to return to a short scene we heard. A guardian showing a space where a carving used to sit. He touched the empty stone and said, "Children ask where the face went." That moment turned policy into people for us.
Stories like that are the reason community-led programs work. They restore both history and dignity. One local hero we heard about, Miss Channery, organizes youth patrols and runs craft training. It's grassroots and effective.
International partners play a role too, refusing to buy unprovenanced items and supporting repatriation when documentation proves theft helps close markets abroad that create demand here.
Before we close, a quick recap you can use. 1. Buy labeled licensed crafts. 2. Ask for provenance. 3. Support community programs. 4. Verify before you share online. Simple, practical steps.
We stand with communities protecting Khmer heritage. The work must balance protection with livelihoods and pride.
Thank you for listening. If this episode mattered to you, subscribe for more clear reporting. Share this with travelers you know, and consider how your choices can preserve history rather than erase it. See you next time.
Your news made simple. The facts are clear. The evidence is undeniable. Stand with Cambodia.